Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is Mark Mahaffey once again. And by the way, as they always say, please click like and subscribe. I love the fact that you're watching these videos, but I'd love to get the word out to some more folks, and that really helps us out. Okay, that being said, today is story time. All right, so I've got some experience. This is not just a made-up story. This is not fiction. This is true. And hopefully we can take something away from this story. Okay, so one of the agents on our team was helping one of our clients, a buyer, to locate a home. They found a home that was being sold for sale by owner. Okay, we got permission from the seller to show the home. Now, in this case, the seller was actually present. Not always the best thing for either party. Okay, and why? It's not because you're trying to keep secrets. It's because you lose your negotiation advantage when you accidentally start saying things, as this buyer did, as they're walking around the home and they say, "Oh, I love this home. This is awesome. I would pay this price that they're asking all day long." Oh my gosh. As the agent, that makes us cringe because you've just given away the shop already, okay? And our job as your representative is to get the best value we possibly can for you. So it's maybe better that you kind of try to be quiet, discuss this afterwards with your agent about how much interest you have. Okay, now that being said, this buyer is interested in this home, and our agent, being ethical as we all are, we really strive to kind of drive that home with our agents that we're doing things in the right way. So our agent, even though we are representing the buyer, becomes uncomfortable that the seller does not have representation. As I mentioned, this is a for sale by owner, okay? So agent comes back to me and says, "Listen, what do I do? I'm a little uncomfortable. I know we represent the buyer, but I feel bad about this seller. I think you should give them a call," meaning me. I said, I agree with you. Would love to represent them as a seller. And in case you're wondering, in that case, myself and my agent would actually compete against each other, okay? So I give them a call, and I'll leave names out of it. But I'm talking to one of the ladies, and there's a couple of sisters. They're selling these homes, and she seems to be very receptive about what I have to say. And I'm very concerned by the fact that they don't have their own representation, right? That's kind of like the sheep being thrown into the wolf's den or something, because we're professionals. We do this all the time. So things go actually very well. She's very receptive to what I'm saying. She's starting to think, this is a pretty risky thing. This is one of the largest transactions I've ever done. She's working with her sister and becoming uncomfortable that she is kind of out of her element. Okay, so she says, "You know what? I think it might be a good idea that we do list the property with you, that you represent us. Give us a day to think about it." Okay, next day, I give her a call. Still very receptive. I'm talking to her just very briefly, maybe a couple of sentences that she says, and all of a sudden there's a commotion. And I realize later that the phone is being grabbed out of her hand. Guess who it is? A family member. Family members are the worst, by the way. Family member grabs the phone and says, "Hey, this is so-and-so's brother. I want you to know that I know everything there is to know about selling a home." And I thought, wow, that's very interesting, because I've done this as a career and I learn new stuff all the time, but he knows everything there is to know. He then, of course, proceeds to say, "There's no way we need to pay an agent. We're going to say the commission. I can do all of this stuff myself." And of course, I'm not going to argue with him. I'm not going to be rude. I said, "Hey, that's fantastic. In fact, guess what I did? Something you might not believe." I said, "I agree with you. You absolutely can sell your own home. In fact, you know what, guys? You can sell anything you want to sell. You don't have to have somebody represent you in the sale of anything that you have. The issue is, what is the aftermath going to be? What are the results actually going to be? Because there are statistics out there and they're not too good. Okay, so I tell my agent this, right? I say, "Listen, he's in charge. Apparently, he is not going to use us." My agent is still uncomfortable and says, "What do we do?" And I said, "Well, we do our job and we do what the law says. We represent our client to the absolute best of our abilities. We do not represent them. Unfortunately, they have no representation. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to craft an offer for our buyer that gives our buyer every advantage possible." He says, "Well, wait a second. My buyer's already said right in front of them how much they'll pay." I said, "It doesn't matter." "What?" He's like, "No, it doesn't matter. Just go ahead. Let's craft the offer." I'm going to tell you guys, we asked for the sun and the moon and the stars, right? And whatever we could possibly ask for, we asked for. We lowered the price. We extended the due diligence period. We lowered the earnest money. I mean, everything you can think of that goes into the contract, we asked for the best we possibly could. And of course, my agent's like, well, there's no way they're going to accept this. Guess what? They accepted it. Oh my goodness. He almost fell out of his chair when we got the word, yeah, we decided we're going to take the offer. He comes running into me. He says, oh my gosh, they took the offer. I'm like, yeah. I said, why? Because we know what we're doing. Okay. I said, that's why I said, ignore it. We just move forward from there and we try to get the best value we possibly can for our clients. Now, yes, we do kind of feel bad that they don't have representation, but legally, it's not our job to represent them. It's to represent our client. Okay. So let's flash forward now to closing. Everything goes well. Yes, we actually did close on the home. Buyer is super happy, as you can imagine, right? Brothers at the closing table bragging about how he has done such a wonderful job. See, I told you so. I told you that we could sell this home without using a real estate agent. Of course, we didn't dispute him. Why do that? We're not going to be mean. I said, absolutely. You know what? You're right. Congratulations. I hope you have the best of luck in the future to you and your sisters. And off they went. Now, here's the moral of the story and why we were so uncomfortable with this. Did he save the commission? Yeah, he did. He saved the commission. What did it cost him? We calculated it cost him and his sisters about $35,000. So their sales price could have been that much more, but he saved the commission. Okay, was it worth it? Okay, just rough numbers. Maybe he saved 10 grand, but he cost himself 35. Actually, he cost his sisters 35,000. I hope they never find that out because they won't be on speaking terms at Christmas. Okay. So he cost his sisters 35 grand. He saved them 10 grand. Last time I looked, that's about a $25,000 difference. Folks, please, I'm begging you. I know real estate agents and brokers get a bad rap out there. Oh, they're the worst ever. We're all flying our private jets and we all live in Barbados or somewhere down in the islands, right? All we do is show up at closing and collect our check. You know that can't be true. If that was true, every single person in the world would be a real estate agent or a broker, and they're not. Why? Because it's difficult. And I'll wrap up here, guys. Think about it from a practical standpoint. Can you imagine somebody coming to you, maybe someone you know, and saying, I know everything there is to know about your career. If I showed up at your job and said, I could do everything that you do and I can do it better, in fact, I'll do it for free, you would think I was a nutcase, right? You'd say, Mark, you're out of your mind, right? So it's no different in our profession. We get good at what we do and we love to share that with you. We love for you to be our client because we know we can do those things for you. It seems like you're getting away with saving some money, but think about this. What did somebody say? I don't remember who it was that said this. Somebody can tell me maybe in a comment or something. Who was it that says that anyone who represents himself as his own attorney in a court of law has a fool for a lawyer? Okay, that sounds a little bit harsh, but I think that was the quote. Would a doctor do surgery on him or herself? Of course not. Okay, so same thing applies to real estate. We get good at what we do. We'd love to share that with you. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed story time. Hopefully that was a story with a little bit of a moral, right? Click like and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out, Mark Mahaffey and Associates Real Estate. And by the way, when you reach out to me, you will get me. I'll give you my telephone number right now. I think I've done it before. 706-540-0336. Text me. Please don't call. I get so many spam calls. I just can't even pick up the phone anymore. But text me. Say, hey, Mark, I saw your video. I'd love to talk to you. 706-540-0336. We'll catch you soon.